Can everyone hear me? Okay, I tried to figure out how to make the webcam happen through the computer too, but we've run out of time. So I'm just gonna draw stuff. But let me know if anyone has any questions while I'm drawing things. And we're just gonna try it out. All right, let's see. I really enjoyed Andrea C. requested a cute little ghost. Got some water over here. All right, now I'm gonna draw a ghost. Ooh, Susan Stover says, I just love your cartoons, especially when you look mad. Love it. So I'll draw this cute little ghost, but I'll make it grumpy. I don't really know what ghosts look like, but I think that kind of works. Okay, I was trying to figure out on YouTube how to switch the camera so that I can look at you with my face, but I don't know if I can figure that out today. So I'm just gonna draw stuff. This cute little ghost was a request from my Patreon supporter, Andrea C. I'm doing their request first because, you know, they get priority. Oh, let me see if I can show you how I am painting here. We got a lot of space over here. I'm rearranging. Can everybody hear me talk? Let me ask you here. Oh, good. Just giving the little ghost a shadow. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a ghost shadow here. I like giving it like a little tooth shadow. Some eyeball shadows. And everything I make has to have little pink cheeks. So let me get a little pink. All right. I made one thing. The next thing on the list, this was requested by Clara Rose B, was a cat reading a book. And after I draw 2 more things, then I'll answer some questions that people asked that I thought were really fun. I have to reach for some paper towels. All right. So the paper that I'm using to draw on is, this is my watercolor scraps folder. And I am just picking out whatever paper. It's sort of like sizes that are too strange for me to make comics on, but they're great for this little activity. I'm going to make a cat reading a book. And someone also requested sort of like a chubby, Becca Dews requested black cat, big eyes, cute as heck, with fangs like a chubby vampire. So I am going to try to incorporate that into this drawing. Got to do a black cat, big eyes, cute as heck, with fangs like a chubby vampire, reading a book. Staying cord here. Let's put that over here. All right. Cats aren't really my forte, but I'll see what I can do. I think they got pointy ears. They got those triangle things. We gotta do big eyes. We'll give it those big cute eyes. Then I'll like add a few of these little sparkle things and then fill it in. Okay, chubby cat. It's gotta be like this. And vampire fangs. And what kind of book do you think it should be reading? All right, I'm gonna fill in the eyes. Oh, yeah, it should definitely, Laszlo Lynn says, you should be reading a book about fish. I definitely agree with that. Uh-oh, the body of the cat's always kind of the tough part, but maybe I'll just give it like these, oh, yikes, chubby little stubby legs. I'll put it on a cushion maybe. And give it a curly tail. Okay, and a book about fish. I guess I'm just going to put a little fish on the cover. And maybe it's a cat reading by the window. Ooh, Gabriel Felix says it'd be reading Ratatouille. Totally. Yeah, I would either be reading about fish or mice. Okay, now I'm going to paint this one. So this is a little collaborative effort from Becca Dews and a patron, Clara Rose. So for watercolor, someone asked for like a mini tutorial. I'm trying to figure out how my camera angles work. Okay, this is all sort of trial and error, clearly. All right, so this is my watercolor palette. It kind of just looks like this all the time. It's a mess. And here is 2 different cups of water, and this is for darker colors and this is for lighter colors. And so for this black cat, I'm just going to use a regular brush and grab some black pigment, just getting it wet. And then I think I actually need a bigger brush to make more progress, so I'm going to switch that. And while I'm painting this, someone asked, I have a list of questions. Oh yeah, Howard or Lena asked how I developed my style. And that's a pretty big question that I kind of can't answer all at once, but I think a big part of my style was when I was a kid, I just watched The Simpsons basically nonstop. So although I didn't develop it intentionally, I think there's a lot of The Simpsons in the way that I see the world and the way that I am attracted to bright colors and googly eyes. And I guess they kind of all have an overbite, so maybe that contributed to that. But as far as developing a style, I just had to draw and draw and draw. And for a lot of it, I would show people and they'd be like, oh, that's cool. Because I think a lot of people are more impressed by realistic art styles. But I tried that for a little while, but it didn't quite keep me inspired. So I've always been into these chubbier characters with cute faces. And I just had to sort of draw what I loved. And I think that's the best way to find a style, is to just keep drawing the things that you love. and, copy people when you feel like it, or imitate people when you feel like it. But eventually I think all of it will show through. But that's easier said than done because you really just have to draw for like years. I think a lot of people online make it look easy, but I had to draw for like 20 years. Not to discourage anyone, but sort of to encourage if it's not coming to you that easy. All right, so I painted the cat. Now I'm going to paint. I have to wait for that to dry before I can add any shadows. And I can't paint the cushion yet because all the paint will bleed. But I can paint outside this window. That I think it's a nice day out there. I don't know if this is an indoor cat or like an indoor-outdoor cat. I like to think that it's an indoor-outdoor cat and it can go outside when it wants to, but it just feels like reading right now. Okay, I had another question from Lavender Rose. They wanted to know if I have any suggestions for someone who's very new at drawing. I want to draw, but I don't know where to start. And I think that's a great question, much like Howard's about developing a style, where trying to draw but not knowing where to start. And for me, I didn't really know where to start for a long time, but when I wanted to get serious about comics, I decided to draw for a certain amount every week. And I found that to be really helpful because even if I didn't like what I was drawing, I could feel accomplished in the fact that I drew a lot. But as far as starting, I just love looking at other art and draw the things that you want to see and like the things that you want to read stories about. And also just, I don't know, I like sketchbooks, but I like sketchbooks that I can make messy because then they feel like I've accomplished something, even if it's just scribble after scribble after scribble. So that's not like a necessity, but I think they're a little more satisfying than paper when like loose paper when I'm starting out because they just it feels like I'm accomplishing something. All right, I'm just giving this cat a squishy little pillow to hang out on. And then now the body of the cat is dry, so I can go in and add shadows. And with this, I'm going to have the light coming in through the window, pointing that way. So I'm getting a slightly smaller brush. Little shadow under the arm. Does anyone have any questions in the chat? I'm happy to answer anything live or take some requests for the next thing that I'm going to do. Ooh, how do I correct any mistakes if or when? How do you correct any mistakes if or when you make them? By Sir Ian Guitar. I like that name. I definitely make mistakes all the time. I mean, I could kind of argue that this whole thing has some real flaws to it. The cat's leaning, the windows has an inside bar but not an outside bar. But how do I correct the mistakes? The ones that I leave a lot of them, but the ones that distract from the story, those are the ones I correct. And luckily I have some Photoshop for doing that. But I really think a lot of comics is like hiding mistakes in a way so that they just don't distract from the reader's experience. And I mean, I remember when I first started making comics, I would panic about everything. And now it seems like the panic just goes down the more I realize that the story matters a lot more than a few little lines. One time I drew this like great comic, but she was wearing flippers and the flippers weren't what real flippers would look like. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, everyone's going to notice and this is going to be terrible. but nobody noticed. And then I was like, whoa. And then probably 100 times after that, I'm like, oh, people really don't notice. They're in it for the funny story. All right. Honestly, I don't know how to say this, but Mercerem. That's my friend Ed. I've never actually said his handle out loud. He says, "Do you think the Simpsons connection is why you like Liz Klimo so much?" Maybe. Liz Klimo is this great artist that makes these super cute animals, like a hamster that says, "I'm going to go for a jog," and then it's jogging in a little hamster wheel. But that might be it. Liz Klimo is awesome. Someone says, GSA Science says, what's the smallest and largest brush size you've used for your comics? Your brush is so skinny. Oh, it's Tess. Oh, hi, Tess. Yeah, I mostly use this small brush that's like, I think it's a 0, but the number's worn off because of my greasy hands. And the biggest one I use is a 10, which is for like background stuff. I am going to add a little pink for the cat's ears. I think this cat should have like a pink nose. Makes it kind of friendly. Just adding a little window pane. All right, and then I think the book about fish should probably be like a blue-green color. Thanks, Denise. They say, this is such a cute little kitty. All right, making the book kind of blue-green. Also in the chat, let me know if you have any suggestions for future live streams, because I want to do this every Thursday and because setting a timeline is great. Even before this, I started setting up at 3, and then by like 3:50, I realized that I didn't know how to switch my camera. But it's cool having the constraint of having to be on the internet, because otherwise I might spend a whole day trying to figure it out. So I do want to do this weekly, and I'd love to hear more about what people would want from this experience, because I'm just making it up, like I said. Oh, Razan B says, hope you're doing well. I kind of forgot to mention that I hope everyone's doing well, because this is such a strange time for everyone. But thanks, Razan. Yeah, I'm pretty good, actually. Last week was sort of tough. I got the old, sadness from thinking about the pandemic and what life looks like. But this week I just tried to give myself breaks and talk to some friends and, I don't know, not try to control what I can't control. But I hope everyone is doing well too, because this is very strange this time, and I don't really know what to do, but I hope my comics can just help cheer people up or keep them happy if they're happy. All right, one of my favorite things is to add like polka dots, so I'm going to add some on this cushion. Ooh, it's just starting to rain outside. I like that. Oh, Laszlo Lynn says, my 7-year-old said someone in a cupcake costume, like a cupcake mascot. That sounds pretty fun. Next, I kind of want to show people how I draw my character. Div Rodericks asks, what are your favorite colors? I gotta say, My favorite colors are this teal color on the book. It is just, I don't know. I try not to like overuse it because I feel like my character wears that color shirt all the time. But yeah, I love teal and purple and blue, and I love that sort of retro combo of like black and pink. Honestly, all these colors of the cat are really, really delighting me. That was thunder. Now I am. Yeah, I can see outside, but it looks like it's gonna get pretty wild out there. Okay, I'm gonna draw some lighting. So watercolor is tricky because a lot of it is like painting the opposite of what is happening. So with lighting, it's like I have to, or it's about thinking about things before I paint them in, because if I painted it in, it wouldn't go so well. So I don't know. That wasn't very well explained, but I'm gonna think about the room maybe is like a gray color. Ooh, or like I think like a red brown. But I want to paint in a way that makes the light come into the room. Watercolor is tough too because it dries up so fast. So when I start in the middle like this, I have to paint this part and this part to keep it from showing like a line. But luckily, I'm just going to paint this. And that's sort of the light coming in. Ooh, Ryan says, so relaxing. The next Bob Ross. My hair is getting pretty big in quarantine. And I dare not cut it because it's very complicated. Oh, yeah. I think we do need a name for the cat. And I'm glad Andrea says this is very relaxing while I eat a cup of noodles. That's great. Yeah, I'm really into live videos. Like I've been enjoying watching a few that other people do, so I wanted to participate in the same way. Cuz there's something cool about knowing that someone is like painting from their house at this very moment. I do need a camera on my face at the same time. I tried to figure it out, but I couldn't this time. I'll figure it out for next week though. Yeah, cuz it's kind of I feel like I'm missing like eye contact and having some human connection. Okay, we got the light coming in on the cat. Ooh, someone has a suggestion. Ramon says Nosferatu, like Nosferatu. Is that because it's like a scary little vampire cat, but actually really friendly? Maybe it's even reading about how to help fish, not how to eat them. Oh, I just noticed a weird thing is that the pillow isn't on a surface. There could be like, a surface down here, but it's okay. You can think about how to fix that when it dries. I'm just going to give the book pages a little pencil mark. And I think the lighting from outside should be a little yellow. Hi, Clara de la Guerra. Thanks for joining us. Ooh, I like that. How funny would it be if the cat's name is Trout and Trout is reading a fish book? I think I'm into that. I like thinking that this little character's name is Trout. All right, I'm gonna make the fish on the book yellow. And that's pretty good. Oh, and I also like little shadows for the eyeballs, so I'm gonna get a little gray. And the nose needs a tiny shadow. And I think that's pretty much done. This part's still wet. I would love to like add in lines so that it can be on a surface, but I'll get back to that. I'm gonna draw another one. Oh, someone says, I had a question from before. What have you been doing to keep yourself busy during quarantine? Draw yourself eating your favorite quarantine snack. So, what I have been doing to keep myself busy during quarantine is honestly mostly making comics because that's that part hasn't changed, which is nice because I like the certainty of some activities. But I've been going to cemeteries a lot because I can walk around there and there aren't as many people. Well, there are people, but they're more dispersed than if they were on like a path. And I'm going to be eating my favorite quarantine snack. Right now, I'm weirdly into peanuts and raisins mixed together, like lightly salted peanuts. There's just something about that. So I'm just going to have her in quarantine. Oh, and someone asked to know how to draw my character. So I usually start with either the hair or the eyeballs, but I'm going to start with the like the glasses and the eyeballs first. So these are the glasses. And I picture her looking this way. Maybe she'll be looking at her snack. So I don't want to draw the snack, or I don't want to draw her eyes yet. Yeah, there are people at the cemetery, but yeah, there are a lot of people, but they do not have COVID because I don't know. I don't know what to say right now. Kind of panicking on the internet, but I'm fine. Oh, someone says, how do you grip your pen? I kind of grip it like, I don't really know. I think most people hold a pen like this, but, but, but I hold it like this. This is how it works. All right, she's going to be eating her snack. For some reason, when she chews, her front teeth are on the outside, and I'm going to have her dipping a hand into the snack. And I eat it out of this like tiny cup because then it feels like I'm eating a lot of them. And I think I'm going to be sitting. Oh, now I can draw her eyes looking at the snack. And maybe I'll draw another cheek. Clara asks, how do you come up with ideas for comics? What inspires you? Honestly, a lot of my ideas are just inspired by my regular life. And so I come up with ideas. Ooh, these legs are kind of wild. I come up with ideas by just writing them constantly in sketch pads like before I fall asleep and just thinking about things throughout the day. Like I had this, like, even if it's really dumb thoughts, like sometimes I have a bunch of thoughts, but they're not funny enough to be single comics. So then I make them compilations. This is just a really bad example, but the other day I was like, why is snow and rain called sleet and not snain? And I don't know why, but I wrote that down. So then maybe one day it'll fit into like worst ideas I've ever had. But the things that inspire me are just emotions and interacting with other people. So quarantine's been a little tough because I just really love people and public spaces and, you know, hanging out with them there. But I got to do what I got to do to keep everyone safe. Okay, she's sitting, eating her little snack on her little chair, and I'm going to add. She's a little wide in this comic, but I think she's pretty cute. Oh, Miriam says, I like your weird finds on your walks that you post on Instagram a lot. They cheer me up. Yeah, you know, since COVID, I've had to be much more cautious with the things I find on sidewalks. I've walked past so many things like packs of gum, and the other day I saw 2 oranges in a bag of chips, and it took a great amount of restraint to not eat them. But I did get some cool lights for my house because I could pick those up and let them sit for a while. All right, this couch doesn't make a ton of sense, but I like adding the little squish marks where she squishes into the couch. And maybe it's got like a couch leg. She's eating her little snack. And I don't know. I don't know what else. Do we need anything else in this picture? It is a futon. Yeah, I got the futon off Craigslist. All right, I'm going to go back to this one real quick and add some ground. I think that'll work. Ah, there we go. The cushion's kind of on the edge, but I think that works. All right. Let me see. I think I just want to draw a few things before watercoloring again. So I got this paper. That's a weird size. I think it was just like a strange size that a print shop didn't want. So I got like a 6-inch stack of it. All right. Someone had requested, I think, a character in a cupcake outfit. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do my character in a cupcake outfit. So we'll make her this way. I don't really know where her like face would come out. Would it be in the middle of the cupcake? Ooh, hi, Leo. I'm so happy you requested this cupcake. Okay, let's put some sprinkles on there. And let's make her arms coming out the front. Let's make her barefoot. I think that adds a strange, adds more questions to what happened here. And we got to give it those like cupcake stripes. Ryan asks, how long have you been drawing your character? I've been drawing my character for about 4 years now. But I've been drawing characters sort of similar to it for like maybe 10. But yeah, my character I feel like I'm super familiar with now, and it's a really cool feeling. All right. There's a cupcake. Me in a cupcake outfit. Or Levy wants a dancing sloth coming right up. I don't really know what a sloth looks like. Would it be sleepy or awake? Everything has to have an overbite. I'm going to make it asleep. I feel like it has long arms and then those things. We want it awake? Okay. Let's give it some music notes. And that's a dancing sloth right there. I don't know if sloths have anything else. Oh, I'm so glad I'm making you happy. All right, we got a dancing sloth. Oh, another Patreon patron asked for a bunny wearing overalls. This is for Nujira. Like a good bunny in overalls. Let's see. I give it really big eyes. Tiny nose. All right, it looks like it's a nervous bunny. And I like when overalls are like one of the things is not when one of like the flaps is down. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, I don't really know what bunny feet look like. And it needs a button and maybe a pocket. I also like adding little hairs to things. It kind of makes them look like more tired. Yeah, I'll make this bunny a little tired too. And make it kind of nervous. Add some sunshine. All right, Villain Must asks, how did you go from just drawing and doodling to making comics with a story and characters, etc.? It was a big jump, but I would say that I went from doodling to making comics because I started reading graphic novels and I was like, wow, these are so cool. I want to write stories. And it took a long time for me it's like, it's not so much a jump from one to the other. It's really gradual. Like I went from drawing animals and hats to then people that worked at the coffee shop that I worked at, and then to customers, and then finally to drawing myself. So once I started drawing myself, I think that was when I realized that there were more storylines. And at first the storylines were just what happened to me in real life, and over time they've become much more focused on like how I feel and parts of my past. My favorite graphic novel, I really love, I have so many, but I really love El Defo by C.C. Bell. I'll write that down. And Blankets by Craig Thompson. That was the first one I read where I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. All right, I see. I really like this request for a velociraptor with an overbite, because then someone else asked for a dinosaur. Oh, this pen that I'm using is a Papermate flare pen. It's not waterproof, but actually that's a really good question, because I think I want to go back to painting. I want to paint this dinosaur if it turns out funny. So I got this piece of paper. And right now I'm using a Micron pen. So velociraptor. At first I thought someone meant a pterodactyl, but I will see what I can do. Because we're drawing a fierce hunting dinosaur, right? I feel like dinosaurs have like tiny eyes. And I want to make it like a suspicious dinosaur. Also be like, sometimes they have like this bump with two hairs coming out of it. I do not know why. Alright, we'll give it the little raptor arms. Uh-oh. I did not leave enough room for this body. I think I might have to start over on this side. Yeah, there we go. I want to do bigger eyes anyway. Also, maybe I should have a pointy overbite, because it's a little more evil. Now it kind of looks like pterodactyl. Dinosaur legs are those are tough. They're kind of big, right? I don't really know what happens in the back here. Maybe I'll make that tail curve around. They are like chicken thighs. Okay, that's not my best work, but I think I like it. You know, sometimes I think what makes it better is adding a miniature version of the same thing. So I will do that. Maybe this thing has a tiny companion. Yeah, the velociraptor is totally the reason the rabbit's so scared. Yeah, Laszlo says the dinosaur is annoyed with his child. Like quarantine. Yeah, I gotta give a lot of props to any parents out there. That seems like tough work. Ooh, that leg. Yikes. Oh, thanks, Nick. Nick says you draw worry and anxiety in characters so well. They are kind of worried. I wonder what they're worried about. Here, I'll make the baby angrier for the adult. This, I gotta fix that right there. Ooh, Lindsay says I just ordered El Defo. It's so good. When I read it, the character's like a little bunny, and I just see so much of myself in that. It really inspired me. Yeah, and I don't know if this is good enough to paint, but I'm just gonna give it a little color. Oh yeah, Rain, I do deliver my comics to the UK, and I'm actually gonna update my website or my online store like early next week, and then I was gonna promote it a little bit. All right, Nora says, don't know why, but I feel like the dinosaurs should have spots like cows and wings, but not dragon wings. Butterflies. Ooh, they should definitely have spots, and I'll see I'll see what I can do with the wings. The little one's gonna have little wings, which would be cute. They're totally giving non-social distancing dinos the stink eye. It's tough though. It's definitely been a long time, and yeah, everyone's got to do their part. But it's so strange not knowing when this will be over. It's totally like new to my whole lifetime and to everybody's, but yeah, I don't know. It's just so weird. All right, I'm gonna make the baby dinosaur a little more yellow because it's like younger, I guess. All right. All right, I am going to try some butterfly wings on the dinosaurs. Yeah, Nick says the little dino is less ripe. That's why he's a lighter color. Yeah, let's do some wings. Maybe they're flapping them angrily at those non-social distancing dinos. I think their wings should be maybe pink. And then I'll add some details. And I'm gonna give them a little shadow too. That's like one of my favorite things. Or we gotta wait for these the wings to dry before we can add some patterns on them. But I think the bodies might be dry enough to add some spots. So they're like cow spots, or like, I'm kind of thinking like those big, these kind of dino spots. All right, and I think I'm gonna make them purple. I have one more question. Someone says, how do you beat writer's block when it comes to you? And I think the biggest thing is to not beat myself up for getting writer's block and to take a break. But that being said, when I have writer's block, I kind of want to take infinite breaks. So it's important that I take a break. Oh, and like a fun break, like probably, I mean, the internet's fun, but I think when I have writer's block, I have to really go outside, like see people, cook some soup or something, and then set a time when I'm gonna sit back down and try to write. And I try to write in like 90-minute increments. So sometimes if I'm having writer's block, I'm like, okay, I have to sit here for 90 minutes and I can't do anything else. And usually by the end of that, I'll have written something. But also, as Lindsay has commented, sometimes I do just have a scribble tantrum because writing is really hard. And I think it's so easy to read stuff and be like, this wasn't, like, this wasn't that good. But like, then when it comes down to writing stuff, it's so hard. It's so much easier to like dislike something I've read or think that I can do a better job. And then when I write, I'm like, oh my gosh, writing is like the hardest thing ever. So I don't know. I think it just comes down to persistence and knowing that writer's block will happen again, but I'll get through it. Oh my gosh, I really like these dinosaurs. I'm so glad Nora suggested the butterfly wings. Sir Ian wants to know what kind of watercolors I use, and I mostly just use, well, not just, but like I use Winsor Newton watercolors. I've been using those for a long time. I'll get my little tin in a second. So this is where all my watercolors live. And yeah, they're kind of expensive, but they last for like years. So they're worth, for me, they're worth paying for and enjoying the quality of them. But yeah, I like Winsor Newton. I use some Grumbacher, and I don't know. It's really, to me, I'm like obsessed with the type of paper I use, which is Arches 140-pound hot press. All right, I'm going to add a few shadows, and then looks like we just hit 5 o'clock. So I'm going to finish up these guys, and then I'm going to promptly look up online how to have 2 camera angles, because it's so weird only seeing my hands. Sunny G says, this is the first time I've been able to join one of your streams, and I love your voice. Oh, you know what I want to do is I kind of want to read a comic in my voice, the way that I would perceive how it would happen. Let me just paint some highlights, and then I'll add that. Because I picture Comic Jackie with like a slightly different voice, because she's a little cuter. All right, let me grab a comic. I got like a whole heap of them over here. Okay, I actually got them piled up in the other room. Or, wait one second. All right. I got a few where she has like a speaking part. She says, "Here, last one's all yours." My friend says, "Thanks, I love sweets." Crunch, crunch. Am I nice? Or do I like seeming nice? Sorry we gotta be on a hug break. It's okay. We'll make up for it later. And then I got one with Pat so I can imitate his voice too. I say, "Are you proud of me now?" He says, "I'm always proud of you. Except when I'm not. Which is sometimes." So I'll find some better ones for next time. Also, let me add a little more shadow to my dino friends. Oh, I don't know what he was supposed to be proud of. I think that's a really good point. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe just, general pride and me being alive and stuff. Okay, dinos are looking great. Ooh, we got to add some arm shadows on the big one. And then I think we got to add some butterfly details and we're good to go. I don't really know what butterfly wings look like, but probably like funny teardrop shapes and stuff. Maybe I'm ruining them. That's like a question I ask myself a lot when I make a comic. Is this making it better or worse? But I just don't know until I try. All right, the little ones get little markings. All right, and I think I'm gonna make sort of a purple green, or like a blue green, yeah. And I'm gonna finish painting this, and if anyone has any closing thoughts, text them or message them, comment them now, and I will see everyone next week. And hopefully you'll see my face because I'll figure out how the internet works. Aw, thanks, Tess. She said she's so proud of me and that I did a great job. That'll definitely help keep the self-doubt gremlin at bay. So much appreciated. Aw, thanks so much, everyone. I hope you're all doing well in your respective cozy little homes. And yeah, I'll post about this again next week. And I'm going to put these dinos online because they're great. So I'm going to finish them up after this, and I will see everyone soon. And then you'll see my face soon, too. But goodbye. Ooh, Berlin. So cool. Have a great evening, everyone.